The chamber lights dimmed across 1,000 worlds as the Galactic Council sent one final message to Earth. Their plea was simple: stop the war before the stars themselves burn. But humanity was already beyond mercy. The silent storm, the emergency session. The great assembly hall of the Nexus Coalition stretched across 3 kilometers of polished crystal and flowing metal. Representatives from over 200 species filled the massive chamber, their varied forms creating a living rainbow of galactic diversity. Floating platforms carried the aquatic delegates while crystalline beings pulsed with nervous light in their specialized chambers. The air itself hummed with dozens of different breathing mixtures, carefully regulated by the station's advanced life support systems. Chancellor Vextar stood at the central podium, his reptilian form casting long shadows across the assembly floor. His scaled hands gripped the speaking platform as he surveyed the worried faces before him. In his 3 centuries of leading the coalition, he had never seen such unified concern among the member species. The silence in the chamber was deafening, broken only by the soft whispers of translation devices and the gentle hum of environmental controls. "Fellow beings of the galaxy," Vextar began, his voice carrying the weight of terrible news. "We gather today to address a crisis unlike any we have faced before. For 6 months, 13 days, and 7 hours, every human settlement ship and outpost has maintained complete communication silence." A ripple of unease swept through the assembly. The insectoid Thrix delegates clicked their mandibles anxiously, while the gaseous Nebulan representatives swirled in agitated patterns within their containment fields. Everyone knew what this meant. Humans did not go silent. Ever. The human absence ambassador Kellandar of the Photonic Collective raised one of her energy appendages. Her species existed as pure light given form, and her distress caused her usual golden glow to flicker with uncertain blues and purples. "Chancellor, have we attempted to reach their emergency frequencies? Perhaps their primary communication networks have experienced technical difficulties." "Every frequency has been tried," replied Admiral Thross, the Coalition's military commander. His massive bear-like form dominated the military section of the assembly. "We have sent probe ships to 17 human worlds. All report the same findings. The colonies appear intact and functioning but completely abandoned. No life signs, no communication signals, no response to our hails." Dr. Melania Ors, the Coalition's chief scientist and one of the few non-human researchers to work closely with human technology, stood to address the assembly. Her elongated cranium and 6 delicate arms marked her as a member of the Cerebrock species, known throughout the galaxy for their analytical minds. "The energy signatures from human worlds are unprecedented. Our sensors detect massive power consumption patterns beneath the surface of their planets. But the nature of this energy use is completely unknown to our science." Memories of human heroism Elder Morthak slowly rose from his position among the ancient species representatives. The old Granite Lord had lived for over 2 millennia and had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations. His rocky exterior showed the scars of age, and when he spoke, his voice carried the rumble of shifting mountains. "Young ones," he said, addressing the assembly despite being older than most species present, "you speak of humans as if they were merely another member species. But they were never just that. They were our guardians, our mediators, our hope." The chamber fell silent as the Elder continued. When the Vorthan-Saurid War threatened to tear apart 3 star systems, it was human diplomats who negotiated peace in 7 days. When the Crimson Plague nearly destroyed the aquatic collective, human medical teams worked for months without rest to find a cure. When pirates from the Void claimed 20 systems as their territory, human fleets restored order without claiming a single world for themselves. Captain Iristal of the Stellar Defense Force nodded grimly. Her species, the Aryans, had hollow bones and feathered wings that allowed them to fly in low-gravity environments. "The humans taught us something we had forgotten, that strength without compassion is meaningless." Their ships were not the largest or most powerful, but they always arrived first when someone needed help. The decision to investigate, the assembly debated for hours. Some argued that humans had simply chosen isolation for unknown reasons and should be left alone. Others worried that some catastrophe had befallen Earth's children, and they needed rescue. But it was young Ambassador Zenith of the lunar colonies who voiced what everyone was thinking. "We cannot simply wait," she declared, her silver skin shimmering with determination. "If humans are in trouble, They would come for us without hesitation. If they have chosen isolation, we need to understand why. And if something has happened to them, she paused, her voice breaking slightly, then the galaxy has lost its conscience. Chancellor Vextar called for a vote. Within minutes, it was unanimous. An investigation fleet would be assembled immediately, equipped with the most advanced sensors and staffed by volunteers from every major species. Their destination, the Sol system, humanity's birthplace and the heart of their civilization. Journey to Sol 3 weeks later. The exploration vessel Galactic Unity dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Sol system. The ship represented the finest collaborative engineering in Coalition history, designed and built by 17 different species working together. Commander Zira, a Vorthon whose crystalline body could process electromagnetic radiation directly, stood at the bridge observation deck as her crew conducted their initial scans. "Report," she commanded, her voice creating harmonic frequencies that her crystal-based nervous system converted to coherent thought. Chief Science Officer Veltar, a Cerebrox like Dr. Orr's, manipulated multiple control interfaces simultaneously with his 6 arms. "Commander, the readings are impossible. Every planet in the system shows signs of massive industrial activity, but no surface structures. The energy output from Earth alone exceeds anything in our databases." "And the humans?" Zira asked, though she dreaded the answer. "No surface life signs detected anywhere in the system." "But Commander..." Veltar paused, his large eyes widening with confusion. "The subsurface scans are being actively blocked. Something is preventing us from seeing more than 50 meters below ground on any world." The silent Earth as Galactic Unity approached Earth, the crew gathered at observation stations throughout the ship. The blue marble hung in space exactly as their records showed, its surface unmarked by any visible catastrophe. Cities remained intact, forests continued to grow, and the oceans reflected sunlight as they always had. But there were no ships in orbit, no communication signals, no signs of the bustling human civilization that had called this world home for millennia. "Take us into orbit," Commander Zira ordered. "Begin full spectrum analysis." For 6 hours, the ship's sensors probed every inch of Earth's surface. They found evidence of recent habitation, vehicles parked in precise formations, agricultural fields showing careful maintenance, even what appeared to be laundry hanging on lines in residential areas. But there were no humans anywhere. "Commander," called Navigation Officer Tremolon from his station, "I'm detecting artificial structures approximately 2 kilometers beneath the surface. The scale is enormous. These tunnels and chambers extend across entire continents." Zira felt a chill run through her crystalline structure. "Are you suggesting that all of humanity has gone underground?" "That's exactly what I'm suggesting," Tremolon replied. "But the energy readings from these facilities suggest technology far beyond anything humans have previously demonstrated. Whatever they're doing down there, it's requiring more power than some entire star systems consume." As the crew struggled to understand what they had discovered, none of them noticed the subtle changes beginning to occur throughout Earth's underground networks. Deep beneath the surface, in chambers that stretched beyond imagination, something that had once been human was beginning to stir. The silent storm was about to break, and the galaxy would never be the same. The investigation had only just begun, but already one thing was clear: humanity had not simply vanished. They had transformed into something else entirely, and their emergence would reshape everything the Coalition thought they knew about their former allies. The awakening truth descent into Mystery Commander. Zira stood at the airlock of her exploration shuttle, preparing to lead the first team to Earth's surface in over 6 months. The away team consisted of representatives from 5 different species, each chosen for their unique abilities and expertise. Dr. Veltar would handle scientific analysis. Security Chief Macron provided protection with his armored Titan physiology. Communications Specialist Linara could interface with any known technology using her bioelectric nervous system. And Medical Officer Sylvan brought her species' natural healing abilities. The shuttle touched down in what had once been Central Park in the former city of New York. The team emerged to find a world that felt like a museum frozen in time. Vehicles sat precisely parked along streets free of debris. Buildings stood intact with windows clean and systems apparently functioning. Gardens showed signs of recent care with flowers blooming and grass freshly maintained. The atmospheric readings are perfect for human life, Dr. Veltar reported, scanning the environment with multiple instruments. Temperature, humidity, oxygen levels, everything optimal, yet there are no humans anywhere. Linera pressed her palm against a nearby streetlight, her bioelectric abilities allowing her to interface directly with the city's power grid. The entire electrical system is operational and running on automated protocols. But the power consumption is minimal on the surface. Most of the energy is being channeled downward through massive conduits I can trace in the infrastructure. The discovery, as the team explored deeper into the empty city, Macron's keen senses detected something unusual. His species had evolved as hunters on a high-gravity world, giving them extraordinary perception and strength. Commander, there are vibrations coming from beneath our feet. Rhythmic, almost like breathing. Dr. Veltar immediately deployed ground-penetrating sensors, his multiple arms working efficiently to set up the equipment. Within minutes, his readings confirmed what they all suspected, but had been afraid to acknowledge. The entire area beneath Manhattan has been excavated and rebuilt. I'm detecting chamber systems extending down at least 10 kilometers, connected by transportation networks that span continental distances. How is that possible? Sylvan whispered, her gentle nature shaken by the implications. The scale of engineering required would take centuries with any known technology. Their answer came from an unexpected source. A section of what appeared to be solid pavement began to shift and rise, revealing a perfectly concealed entrance. The opening was clearly designed for beings roughly human-sized, but the technology involved was unlike anything in Coalition databases. We're being invited inside, Commander Zira observed. The question is by whom? Can we dig deep? The descent took over an hour via a transportation system that seemed to respond to their presence without requiring any input from the team. The tunnel walls were composed of a material that appeared to be living metal, pulsing gently with soft light that adjusted to provide optimal visibility for each species present. The temperature and atmospheric composition remained perfectly comfortable for all team members, despite their vastly different physiological needs. This technology is adapting to us in real time, Dr. Veltar noted with professional amazement. It's analyzing our biology and adjusting environmental conditions accordingly. The computational power required for such adaptive systems is staggering. As they descended deeper, the tunnels opened into vast chambers that defied comprehension. Cities existed within the Earth, connected by transportation networks that moved at incredible speeds. Manufacturing facilities produced goods using technologies that seemed to manipulate matter at the molecular level. Agricultural systems grew food using controlled fusion reactions to provide perfect growing conditions. But still, there were no humans to be seen anywhere. The revelation. The transportation system finally brought them to a massive central chamber that stretched beyond their ability to see its boundaries. The space was filled with a soft, warm light that seemed to emanate from the air itself. And there, waiting for them in the center of the chamber, stood a figure that was unmistakably human in origin, but transformed beyond anything they had imagined. The being before them retained the basic human form, but appeared to be composed of living energy contained within a crystalline structure, similar to Commander Zira's species. When it spoke, its voice carried harmonics that conveyed meaning directly to their minds regardless of their species or language. Welcome, friends from the stars, the entity said. I am Marcus Chen, or rather I was Marcus Chen. Now I am part of something greater. We have been waiting for you to find us. Commander Zira stepped forward, her own crystalline structure resonating slightly with the transformed human's energy patterns. Marcus Chen, you were Earth's ambassador to the Coalition Council. We've been searching for you and all humanity for months. What happened to your people? The entity that had been Marcus smiled, an expression that somehow translated across his transformed state. We evolved, Commander. Not through external pressure or gradual change, but through choice and necessity. 6 months ago, our deep space monitoring stations detected something approaching from the void between galaxies, something that should not exist. The ancient threat, Dr. Veltar immediately began recording everything, his scientific training overwhelming his shock. What kind of detection? Our most advanced sensors haven't found anything unusual in extragalactic space. Because you have not been looking in the right dimensions, Marcus replied. The entities approaching exist partially outside normal space-time. We call them the Devourers because that is what they do. They consume entire realities, not just matter and energy. but the very concepts that allow universes to exist. The chamber around them began to shift, displaying holographic images that showed vast, impossible entities moving through spaces that hurt to look at directly. The devourers appeared as geometric impossibilities that somehow maintained coherent form, while existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Our analysis indicated they would reach this galaxy in approximately 18 months, Marcus continued. Standard military responses would be useless against entities that exist outside our reality. Traditional diplomacy impossible with beings that view consciousness as a contamination to be cleansed. Humanity faced a choice: evacuate and hope to escape their notice, or transform ourselves into something capable of protecting our home. Security Chief Macron, despite his warrior nature, felt a chill of fear at the implications. Your entire species chose transformation over escape. Not just our species, Marcus replied, and suddenly the chamber filled with additional presences. Humans began materializing around them, but like Marcus, they had been transformed into beings of living energy and crystalline structure. Men, women, children, all retaining their individual personalities while connected to something vastly greater than the sum of their parts. The collective choice. A woman who introduced herself as Dr. Sarah Kim, formerly Earth's leading xenobiologist, stepped forward to explain. We spent months analyzing the threat and possible responses. Individual enhancement wasn't enough. Traditional technology couldn't affect multidimensional entities, but humans have always been adaptable. We chose to evolve our consciousness itself. The process required the voluntary participation of every human being, added another transformed individual, who had been Captain Rodriguez of the exploration fleet. We couldn't save the galaxy with just some of us evolving. It had to be all or nothing, so we chose all. Commander Zira struggled to process what she was hearing. You're telling me that 8 billion humans simultaneously chose to undergo this transformation? 17 billion, Marcus corrected gently, including all colonies and spaceborne populations. The decision was unanimous because we made it together, as a species for the first time in our history. We connected our minds temporarily to share the complete understanding of what was coming and what would be required to stop it. Dr. Veltar's scientific mind raced with questions. The energy consumption we detected, the continental engineering projects, transformation chambers and connection networks, Dr. Kim explained. We had to redesign our entire civilization to support our new form of existence. What you see now is humanity as a collective consciousness while retaining individual identity. We are both one and many simultaneously. The protection offered, the chamber began to shift again, this time showing real-time displays of space beyond the galaxy. In the deep void, barely visible even to enhanced perception, shapes moved that violated the basic laws of reality. The Devourers will arrive in 4 months, Marcus announced. When they do, they will attempt to unmake everything you know and love. Your civilizations, your histories, your very concepts of existence will be targeted for consumption. But they cannot consume what exists outside their dimensional framework, Captain Rodriguez added. Our transformation allows us to exist partially outside normal spacetime, making us immune to their primary weapons. More importantly, it allows us to fight them on their own terms. Commander Zira felt the weight of galactic responsibility settling on her crystalline shoulders. What do you need from the coalition? Nothing, Dr. Kim replied with a smile that somehow conveyed warmth despite her transformed state. We chose this path to protect our friends, our family, our home. The galaxy that accepted us learned from us and taught us what it meant to belong to something greater than ourselves. Marcus stepped forward, and suddenly all the transformed humans in the chamber began to resonate with harmonious energy. We are no longer the humans you knew, but we are still your guardians. When the Devourers arrive, they will find Earth's children ready to defend not just our reality, but all the beautiful, chaotic, wonderful life that fills it. In the promise, as the away team prepared to return to their ship, the transformed humans gathered to see them off. The chamber filled with a light that seemed to carry emotions directly: love, determination, hope, and an unshakable commitment to protection. Comment for next part.